And today I'd like to introduce all of you to our fantastic insider from Evolve Your Digital. It is, or Evolve Your Business. It's our website expert, David Krushell. David, 10 minutes, over to you.
Yeah, it's Evolve Your Digital. So thanks very much, everybody, for giving me the opportunity. So we've had a couple of insights before and things like that, so we didn't know really what to speak about. But we've had quite a few customers recently talk about client engagement on a website and how can we create more interest to keep people on the site, give them the information they require. And it's about understanding the changes within the buying process. So the way that people purchase now is completely different to how they did years ago. Obviously, technology is a massive part within that. So I call it the old days, but I mean, I was there as well, so it's not really the old days. I like to think that. And I know Gordon's seething right now. But anyway, so high street shops. So basically, the way that the world used to work, you'd have a load of high street shops, you know, Marks and Spencer's, John Lewis, etc. All the ones that, you know, predominantly are still around, but unfortunately there are some that have fallen by the wayside. But you would go to those weekly, you know, or bi-weekly or whatever. It'd be a thing to do. It wouldn't be sort of convenience. You've got local city centres, so you'd have to get the bus, you know, back in the day, or, you know, if you were fortunate enough to have parents with cars, you could get driven to the city centres. The difference is you would spend hours shopping, you know, buying whatever it is you went to go for. You would have chosen shops for specific items. You would have actually thought about what you needed, but then gone and done your research on the day. You would have potentially gone to 4 or 5 different shops that sold the same thing, found the one that suited you, and then tried it on and then left. And obviously I'm talking just retail at the moment, but obviously it can do for all the hardware, tools, everything. You know, it was a different mindset. You would make a point of physically going somewhere to get that item. You would engage with staff and other customers while you're waiting in the queue and all that sort of stuff. So that's how it used to be. Now, unfortunately, high streets are a lot more sparse. The city centres have changed their facilities. They have a different outlook on how a city centre works. There's more businesses in their financial districts, coffee shops, restaurants. It's more food orientated, travel, tourism, and all that sort of stuff. You can now buy what you want at a push of a button. The phrase I use with customers, even within business, is you can get everything from everywhere. You know, we work in a heavily saturated industry, yet we manage to get clients. So what differentiates that business or shop from anywhere else is it's the client who chooses to use that business for that specific reason. So, but you can achieve anything or buy anything from anywhere, as we know. Unfortunately, there is minimal engagement, and it is usually front end looking at reviews, trying to find out on focus groups what's good to purchase, what company's good. You know, like our 1N group. You know, we always ask questions. There's Facebook groups everywhere and stuff like that. But then research. Now, this is the key point that I've wanted to bring it back to the group that we are in. And people now, because of cost of living crisis, because of the COVID, because of everything that's going on, people research things up front a lot more. They don't do it at the time. They take their time, especially for a considered purchase, which can be anything sort of maybe £1,000 upwards online is a considered purchase. You take your time, you research it, I don't know, decent TV, you know, or even using us, for example, you know, taking a website and, you know, we've quoted maybe $2,500. It's a considered purchase, but they will have had to do the research up front. They will have to check out the company. They may have looked at competitors. They may have got another quote from elsewhere, but maybe not got the service provided that we do. So you have to get into the mind of the purchaser for your business now, and they are researching you too. A couple of stats now though, talk through the way e-commerce is going. Now, e-commerce doesn't necessarily just mean something you can transact online. It can be potentially booking an appointment with a business, because actually that then will lead to some transaction that's been formulated online. You know, that is a spin-off of e-commerce, but this is just transactional. You know, in the UK in 2020, 120 billion pounds was spent on e-commerce, which is nearly over a quarter of the total retail sales. However, looking at 2024, that's going up to 200 billion which is going to push it nearer the 35 to 40% mark. It's frightening. Online shopping behavior has completely changed, as it says there, potentially due to the, well, this is before, due to the COVID pandemic, that in 2020 it was 63%. So, but the key thing for us, what we're spotting as well in our analytics, is that mobile devices are paramount. If your site isn't operational on a mobile, if you aren't operating a mobile first website, then you need to talk to either us or your webco or whatever, because ultimately your site should be mobile first, because generally now it is 60-40, predominantly 50-50 upper office based businesses, but generally, you know, mobile world is taking over, as we know. And in the UK, 71% of smartphone users made a mobile purchase in the last 6 months. And again, you may not sell something as such, but your services are to be bought by a client. So if your site isn't mobile first with an option, you know, I love a CTA. If your CTAs aren't paramount, in view, ease of searching through the website to get the information they require with a call to action at the end of it, to then confirm that maybe with a booking of an appointment, a purchase of a product, or in Joe's case, you know, maybe booking in a call for a slot to talk about a networking offer. And then obviously in the future, what they're saying is it's just going to grow, which unfortunately has an impact on the high street. But everything becomes easier when using a device. And a little story to do with Blockbuster Video. You may have heard this, you may not. Netflix, when they first started, were selling online DVDs. And they approached Blockbuster and said, look, you know, we've got this streaming service idea. We'd really like to be the streaming partner of Blockbuster. And they said, we'd like $50 million for this to actually be successful. And the CEO of Blockbuster laughed them out of the office and said, don't be so silly. Why would we give you $50 million? Well, the rest is history. So, you know, either, you know, you have to cater for the digital arm that is now around in your business. So this sort of brings us on to the business relevance of these points I'm making. So how are your clients using the web to find your services and your products and your business information on your website? You know, are they actually going through, obviously you can go through LinkedIn, they can find your business there, you know, social media using Rachel, definitely, she will give you some trigger points, especially with links to URLs and things like that. But the research element is paramount at this moment in time. People are not making impulse purchases anymore because of the cost of living, because of budget spending, because of the rise in energy prices. It has transformed how people are buying things. It's crazy. I know the internet has been massive in that in itself, but it's like another wave now. It's like looking at statistics and analytics of websites. This is why we have to take people on a journey within the website. And I know that I talk about that a lot, but we get a lot of buy-in from customers and their clients because the way that they use the website is very different. And Michelle's will be paramount to that. I was going to just spend 10 minutes talking about Michelle's website and case study, but I thought that better not. But people now, if they do need something quickly, will pay for speed and convenience. So we're thinking about piloting something where we leave maybe 4 or 5 hours a week aside, untouched, for a client to come along and say, well, I will pay you 50% more or 25% more or whatever it is to provide a service for me that I need right now. Because you go to theme parks, you pay for fast track. You pay for things to be done. We've got a valeting company who have a priority pass where people can get their car valeted for an extra 20, 25 pounds because they need something there and then. And it's not, you know, it's not disrespectful. It's just part of business. If your time is precious, you should be charging for it. But on the flip side, when you have a downtime within your, say, for example, on a Tuesday morning, or not Tuesday morning, maybe on a Thursday afternoon, you're at the quietest point of your week. Why not discount your service to try and get it filled? Just think about when you have gaps that are actually detrimental and not getting you anything. Try and work it where you either charge more when they need something urgently or actually try and reel people in by doing something on your quiet and non-productive times. Then you've got things now like websites going back to people purchasing. You have websites now that will let you split train ticket prices because people are aware that when you go onto a train ticket website, they will just charge you from Leeds to London, because it's the most popular route, 200 quid. But actually, I got a ticket from Cross Flats to Stevenage to London King's Cross, and I think it was £70. So people are researching, trying to find discounts that match, or trying to find services and pricing that match what they require, but they will massively research. So this is why SEO, is search engine optimization, is so important at the moment, because of the research part, and Google are aware of this, which is why they've now launched this new algorithm, which if you blog regularly about content that's being searched for, so you go back to the search trends, you blog about it on your website, your blogs will then start superseding any page that's irrelevant and old or outdated about the same topic. So research, research, research. Make sure your site is adequately, is full of information that a customer can take the info, research the business, and then transact with you, probably via a mobile. That's it. Thank you very much. Are there any questions?
If we have any questions, do pop them in the chat or arrange a one-to-one with David. We've our time's up for the.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see the 1 minute left.
Thank you so much to David Krushell of Evolve Your Digital for a fantastic insight there. Do go to his website, check out more.